On this week's show, Tesla leases a new warehouse that's perfect for Model 3, BMW announces a longer-range version of the i3 electric car, and why Ford might or might not be working on a 200-mile electric car to beat the Chevrolet Bolt EV. These stories and more coming up next on T.E.N. Enjoying today's show on YouTube and want to read the stories we're referring to today? Just head to our website at transportevolved.com/TEN, where you'll find today's show notes as well as links to the latest future car news, buying guides, tech primers, and car reviews. It's Friday, May 6, 2016. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield, and I'm rating today's show T for Tesla, because there's quite a lot of it in today's show. If you're not a Tesla fan, just skip the first few minutes, because nearly all the Tesla stories are clumped together at the start. Go on, I won't be offended. Still here? Okay, well, we'll start with Tesla story number one, namely the news that Tesla has just signed the lease on two massive warehouses in the San Francisco Bay Area, just 20 miles from the Fremont factory where the Model S and Model X are currently made. As Green Car Reports detailed this week, the two facilities, totaling just 1 million square feet of warehouse space at the Oaks Logistics Center in Livermore, seem to be the early stages of Tesla ramping up its production plans for the Tesla Model 3. While Tesla itself has not yet confirmed what the facilities will be used for, sources close to Tesla sold the San Francisco Business Times this week that the company also has the option to lease a third warehouse on the same site, expanding its total warehouse storage facilities in the area by another 294,000 square feet. Given that Tesla announced this week during its Q1's earnings call that it intends to shift its 500,000 vehicle production goals up by 2 years, it's likely the facilities will simply be used as parts storage, because if Tesla wants to ramp up production in Fremont, it'll need a new place to store all those raw materials and pre-assembled components like battery packs. Which brings us nicely to the second Tesla story of the week, one which sees the Tesla Model S gain a new battery pack option for those wanting a little more entry-level range out of the luxury sedan. A 75 kilowatt-hour pack, identical to the one found in Tesla's entry-level Model X. Following the unexpected stealth Model X battery pack upgrade announced last month, from 70 kilowatt-hours to 75 kilowatt-hours, Tesla confirmed to Jalopnik this week that it was readying a 75 kilowatt-hour battery pack on the entry-level Model S, adding around 20 miles additional range per charge when compared to the Model S 70 and Model S 75D. Interestingly, however, Tesla says it will continue to offer the Model S with a 70 kilowatt-hour battery pack too, essentially giving Model S two new variants, the Model S 75 and Model S 75D, sitting between the Tesla Model S 70 single and dual motor variants and the Tesla Model S 90D. As always though, that extra capacity does come at a cost, around $3,000 more on the base level price of $72,700 before incentives, but including destination, meaning the cost of buying a Tesla Model S just continues to rise. Also, there's no news of when we can expect this option to roll off the production line, but we'll let you know as soon as we do. Regardless of when the new Model S 75 hits the market, we can tell you that it will be available with the optional HEPA Biohazard Defence Mode, at least if you specify the optional premium package with your new car, that is. And this week, Tesla released a video of it, proving how effective the air filtration system truly is, showing how easily it helped clean up the air in a smog-filled Beijing. At the same time, it released a blog post detailing a lab test in which it placed a Model X inside an air cocoon filled with enough heavily polluted air that you'd get pretty sick if you actually spent more than a few seconds exposed to it. What happened? Well, within a few minutes of activation, the Model X's interior air was scrubbed clean, and then the car set about cleaning the air around it too. It's an incredibly impressive feat of engineering, and if you've got allergies or respiratory problems and you live in a major city, I think it proves you should be ticking the premium package option box for your next Tesla. Which brings us to another premium car getting an upgrade this week, namely the BMW i3 Electric and BMW i3 Rex range extended electric car. And that's because on Monday, BMW confirmed that it's now offering customers who opt for the popular city car an optional 33 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack, which extends the range of the i3 BEV from 81 miles per charge to around 114 miles per charge, and extends the range of the i3 Rex by a similar amount. The upgrade, made possible by a next-generation battery pack that is more energy-dense than its predecessor, but which fits in the same physical space as its predecessor, will cost owners a little more than the original 22 kWh battery pack in previous i3 models. Interestingly too, BMW says it's also planning to offer an upgrade path for existing owners who wish to install the new battery pack in their existing cars, but hasn't said how much it will cost, and has already discounted this as an option in the UK and US. For those in Europe too, there's another new addition to get excited about, an optional 3-phase onboard AC charger, which will allow the plug-in car to be recharged at power levels of up to 11 kilowatts. US customers, meanwhile, will get an improved 7.4 kilowatt onboard charger for reduced charging times. Specifications do vary from market to market, so if you're interested, get in touch with your local BMW i3 dealer for more information. Talking of longer-range electric cars, we're off to Detroit now, where the automotive giant Ford has done something of a U-turn on long-range electric cars. Or has it? As you may remember from a few weeks ago, Ford stated that it would be focusing on producing affordable 100-mile electric cars rather than any electric models with longer ranges. But this week, a rumour surfaced suggesting that Ford was indeed scrambling to bring a 200-mile EV to market. Why? Well, partly to ensure they didn't lose any market share to the upcoming 2017 Chevrolet Bolt EV. But while the rumour does sound plausible, Ford's official line is that that rumour is inaccurate. Interestingly, however, several sources do seem to suggest that Ford is a little left on the back foot by the Chevrolet Bolt EV and upcoming Tesla Model 3, and is indeed trying to rush and design a longer-range model for the near future. But will it come to market anytime soon? Well, that's unlikely, and as our friends at GCR suggest, it's probably going to be 2019 before we see any 200-plus miles from the big blue oval, if at all. Shifting gears, it's time for the latest in the ongoing Dieselgate scandal now, thanks to an article this week by Reuters which said that Volkswagen's performance brand Audi created the so-called defeat device software for diesel-powered cars way back in 1999, long before it was used in any production passenger vehicles. While the report won't be of any surprise to those who've been following the scandal, since Audi was responsible for designing the 2.0-litre straight-4 and 3.0-litre V6 diesel engines at the heart of the Dieselgate, it shows just how long the company has sought to cheat emissions tests, all the time proclaiming how clean its clean diesel engines were. With this latest revelation, it appears increasingly unlikely, though, that Volkswagen will be able to pass off any notion that the whole thing was the responsibility of a few rogue employees. When something has been going on that long in a company, we think it would be almost impossible to keep this level of deception quiet. In other words, we think more people are complicit than Volkswagen or Audi says. And if that last story leaves a nasty taste in your mouth, the chances are the next one will too. But like the Dieselgate story, it's one we think you need to hear. That's because on Tuesday this week, Senate Bill 3 in Connecticut, a bill designed to let Tesla sell cars direct to customers, was killed after negotiations between the state Senate, Tesla Motors, General Motors, and auto dealer associations fell apart. With no agreement decided upon, the bill will be revisited next year. But with GM and new car dealers described as powerful lobbyists by legislators, it's looking particularly bleak. And if that isn't enough, the state of North Carolina, a state that's already in my bad books for its discriminatory HB2 bathroom bill, is currently trying to decide if it will allow Tesla to open a second showroom in the state. At the moment, the cards are stacked against it, but here's hoping that Tesla supporters will win through and Tesla's direct-to-customer sales model will appear triumphant. If Tesla fails, well, you can join me in the not welcome in North Carolina line. Don't worry, we're all pretty friendly here. And after that downer, we're back to BMW now with a more upbeat story, namely the prospect of an all-electric mini Rocketman sometime in the near future. No, we're not talking about that Elton John song. We're talking about the concept car that we first saw back in 2011. According to Autoblog Green, while BMW has almost completely discounted bringing the Mini Superleggera EV concept we saw a few years ago to production, the older Mini Rocketman, which was an ICE car, has got BMW's design staff inspired to produce an all-electric Mini based on the light and roomy concept car. It's still something of a big if, but if it does make it into production, we can imagine the Mini Rocketman using the same drivetrain and battery pack found in the BMW i3, combining the iconic brand with an electric drivetrain for the first time since BMW used the Mini E as a testbed for its electric car technology. Here's to a production car to fawn over sometime in the near future. And finally, we're back to Silicon Valley for this final story, but this time we're going a little further west of Fremont to Mountain View, where software company Alphabet, or Google as we all prefer to know it, has signed a partnership agreement with Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, or FCA, to build a fleet of fully autonomous Chrysler Pacifica hybrid minivans. The vehicle, revealed earlier this year, replaces the old town and country minivan and includes plenty of modern technology to make fitment of an autonomous drive system fairly straightforward. But while FCA isn't the first automaker to partner with a world-famous software company, Ford also has an autonomous partnership with Google, this particular partnership seems to be rather unique. Rather than just build and test autonomous vehicles, it does seem to look like the 100 or so vehicles that Google and FCI are looking to build will be used in a future business model that offers self-driving minivan taxi services, or perhaps a car-sharing service with similar capabilities. We'll find out more in the coming months, but until then, if you see a Pacifica hybrid in the valley with lots of extra sensors strapped on, well, it's probably a Google car. Well, that's your lot for today. I'm off now to try and catch up on some much needed zzz after a very long, very crazy week. All being well, I will be back next week at the usual time with another episode of T.E.N. But in the meantime, you can find all the news that's fit to print at our website at transportevolve.com, catch up with us on Twitter at transportevolve, or check out our latest shows on our usual YouTube channel. And if you liked what you saw today, please do consider keeping us independent and impartial by pledging your support over at Patreon. You can find the website at patreon.com/transportevolved. While we still haven't quite hit that $1,000 per month mark, I'm hopeful that you awesome people will help push us over that in the very near future. So if you haven't donated yet, please do consider pitching in. While you'll have noticed a bit of an article drought on our site this week due to a pretty major Gordon Bloomfield family emergency involving lots of hospital visits, there are some stories we didn't manage to fit into today's show, including our full analysis of the Tesla Q1 2016 earnings call. Staff writer Kate Walton-Elliott fills us in on her classic Honda Insight staff car. We examine if graphene batteries are just around the corner or not, and a new partnership between Nissan, BMW and Uber in South Africa that lets you hail a clean green ride from your phone. So when we're done, be sure to head to our site to read them all. Thanks for watching. I'm Nikki Gordon Bloomfield. Have a fantastic weekend, and until next time, keep evolving.